Well, good morning again, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be on planet Earth as you are here again for another edition of Facebook Live in the Holstein program. My name is Kevin Jorgensen. We're joined here as always with Rick VerBeek, and we're going to try to fill you in on the events of this week, which have been very eventful and very impactful, and we hope that we can share some really good information with you over the next 45, 50 minutes and give you an update of this week's events, as well as answer any of the questions that you may have. But just really glad that you can join us, whether it's live or later on. We're just really, really glad to be with you. Rick, I figured out this morning we've been doing this almost 6 years. That seems like an awful long time that we've been doing these, but it's always fun to share the information of the week with you guys. So it obviously, I think anytime we have a base change, it's a matter of adjustment. It's a matter of getting used to the new data. And it's taken us a couple of days to do that. It's really, it's been some long nights in studying a lot of data to see where, how the changes affected bulls, what was daughter data change, what was formulaic changes. But I think at the end of the day, and we're going to share some of those. Rick will give you a little bit of update in terms of the base change and that stuff. At the end of the day, the rank is what matters. It's what the daughters of the bulls are doing. It's how they perform in your herd. And that's really what it's all about. And I think once we deciphered all of that information and adjusted and get ourselves recalibrated, we're in a really, really good spot. So, Rick, you got anything to add on the base change or just overall Sire summary notes?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a lot of adjustment, looking at new numbers and different scales and trying to get comfortable with that. I think the one thing, the overriding theme is that, we did a good job of presenting the base changes ahead of time. So people had some very firm numbers in their heads as to what bulls were going to change, what the population was going to change. Surprisingly, it didn't change as much as we anticipated. I think as we get to the root of all of that, it comes down to the inbreeding adjustments that happened after the base change had less of an effect on the PTAs. So they went down lower, less than what we had expected. So normally when things are higher than we expected, we're happy. This time it kind of confused the issue just a little bit. But I think we'll get through that. As I like to say, they are official. And this is what we're going to work with for the until August. And so it takes a little time to get used to it. But, I think the one thing that I know and is that we enjoy talking about bulls that we like. And we found plenty of those after all of these adjustments that come to the top of the population. And so I think for the next 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to talk about bulls we like. And that's what we enjoy. And that's what we want to represent here for Select Sires.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a customer call me 2 days ago and was trying to decipher the information and looked at it. And he gave me really good advice, I think. And he said, Kevin, you guys just need to keep making bulls that make the kind of cows that I like to milk. And I couldn't have said it any better than that. That kind of sums up our mantra of why we do what we do and try to do that. And so, as Rick said, you look at the data and you look at things. And I know I typically always show this slide. And if I went back to those 6 years of us doing this, I probably have this in 95% of them. And that's the top 100 sires with 97% reliability, because that's the report card. That's what's in your barn. That's the semen you purchased 3 years ago. And I don't try to be redundant, but the bottom line is this is really what is our report card. How do we look at ourselves in terms of the rearview mirror of how did our bulls stand up over the course of time? And I think relative to anyone else, we're able to do that. And it's been over a really long period of time. As you look at, I can take this actually all the way back to 2003. And it's pretty much been the same for over 20 years. And we're really proud of that. And that's really what we're trying to do in sire development, is make the bulls that make the cows that you want to milk. And that's really what it boils down to. So we had a lot of graduation. We're going to talk about a lot of bulls that we've talked about in previous presentations as G4 sires, next gen sires. They're now proven sires. The next 3 sire summaries, you're going to see a lot of bulls add their data, and we're really excited to see. We're excited what we're seeing out in the barns. So in those, it boils down to Do they meet this market for the HHP designations, the index that we've built to try to make that cow that makes daughters you want to milk with a high emphasis on mastitis resistance? And you're going to hear us talk a lot about that today. But like I say, in this new graduate category, Rick, there's a couple here that are pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think we were really happy to see 14H15932 Cumulus, our first Conway son to graduate right at the top of the charts. He's the top 10 TPI bull on the official Holstein list. He is, as I said, the Conway son out of the very good Lionel, and then a very good medley behind that. When you look at our proven list, he is right at the top for nearly all of our selection indexes. He is our number one proven HHP bull. He's our number 2 overall TPI bull, number 2 cheese merit, number 3 net merit bull. So you don't have to go very far down the list to find Cumulus in his genetic wealth and offering. Big CFP bull at 167 pounds CFP. I mentioned that elite TPI and cheese merit dollars. He is an A2 bull. He's also BB on Kappa casing. Moderate frame cows. Nice to have that strength higher than stature, that body depth higher than stature. So I do think they're going to be kind of robust kind of cows, give you a little bit of power in width, yet going to keep those teats centrally placed and squarely under the bottom of the udder, and actually add just a tad bit of teat length as well. So nice bull to have right at the top of the list. Another new bull is 7H15754 Badger SSI Zappa. A Taos son out of a 83-point Big Al. Next dam's an 88-point Outsider's daughter. So kind of a unique pedigree bull here. Certainly a bull that's going to complement all of our game day blood, I think, very nicely in that respect. High solids bull, high percent fat, high percent protein. You see all that yellow on the screen. He is a tremendous mastitis resistant pro bull. 102 Zoetis mastitis plus 11 CDBC. Low somatic cell. Tremendous fertility index, high DPR, high cow conception rate, and then a linear profile that's right down the middle. So a bull that's going to kind of keep you neutral on frame, not going to do anything negatively on feet and legs, and help improve the udder slightly as well. So another nice thing about him is a calf livability, plus 105. We'll talk about that throughout the presentation today. You know, with this precision breeding and all the beef semen that we're using, the females that we do make, those calves that once they hit the ground, they've got to live and they've got to make it into that milking herd. So the survivability of that is becoming more and more critical each and every day. So a nice bull right at the top of our list, top 20 TPI bull in the industry, and a top 5 bull at Select Sires, a top 10 HHP bull at Select Sires.
You hit that on the head. Every calf counts in today's world, and you want them to be the kind that are going to do a lot of things right. First bull I get to talk about a new graduate's a bull that is really, really unique the longer I look at him. When you think about a bull that's a different pedigree, and you're going to hear us talk a lot about diversity and those kind of things. Here's 7H15 597 Richie. He's a Husky Floyd son, so he was a little bit different in those respects. The next dam is an 82-point Nugent daughter. She's at Seamers Holsteins, made 42,000. The cool part about this bottom side pedigree, and it was really fun as I went through and looked at this morning. The next dam is a Markley daughter, and Markley was a Montross brother to Spark. We had purchased this heifer for the art program. Unfortunately, she was lost as a heifer, but we bought her from Bob and Jeanette Sheehan in Minnesota, and I traced this pedigree back 12 generations. Got to skip her a blip. There's an old cow named Bolton Ariana that was one of Sheehan's great cows. And then it actually goes back to a Larson Acres bred cow about 12 generations back that was excellent 95. So he's got a really unique sire stack. I think he'll be able to be used very good for sire diversity. He ranks extremely high at 3159 for TPI. He's the number 2 DWP bull in the breed for proven bulls at 918. He's got those mastitis resistance scores that you talked about earlier on other bulls, Rick. He's A2. He's 87 pounds of fat. That ranks him right near the top of the proven bulls. So there was a lot of things to like about this bull, and the longer I dug into him, the better I liked him. Next bull, as you mentioned, with the first Conway sons, the first Taos sons. Now we already have the first game day sons that have progeny in 7H15 913 Wilred Game Day Con, a bull that I've always liked. He's got a brother we'll talk about, some sons later of War Gear out of that excellent Lionel. Wilra 1910 lives up again at Seymour's Holsteins. A bull that, again, ranks incredibly good for TPI at 3156. He's got the right casings for a game day son. That 82 pounds of fat gets him extremely high ranking within the breed when you look at the ranks for proven sires. So he does a lot of things right. Also has those right mastitis traits, don't have them highlighted, but he does that right. The one thing I can tell you is in my travels this winter, I had the chance to go to Southern Illinois and do some meetings and went down to Wilra. What an impressive farm. Been a great collaborator of ours for a number of years. Going to be a national convention tour stop if you're here in America, and going to be at the national convention. It'll be a must stop. It's a wonderful herd of cows. Saw so many. They had a bunch of these Con Daughters milking. They looked really, really good. Game day worked fantastic in that herd. So a bull we've used as a sire father, a bull that's going to have a really big impact, and the first of our game day sons to graduate.
Well, another new bull that graduates, another Conway son here in Letchworth, 250H16110 Letchworth. I did have a chance to go up to Aurora last week, Friday, and walk some pens. Con was one of those bulls that I liked the daughters of quite nicely. And Letchworth was another certainly favorite of mine as I was out last week looking at some new 2-year-olds. This is a family we're going to talk about a couple different times throughout the presentation. The Rapid Dam of Letchworth should be fresh again with her third calf. She was a few days overdue when I was there a week ago. Looked incredible. Her Dam, the excellent Frazzle, is still there in the herd. And then Her Dam, the $93 Open, is also still in the herd. So there's actually now 5 generations of this cow family in milk at Aurora Ridge, which I think is just a tremendous accomplishment, but a testimony to the type of cow family that this is. Letchworth himself, as I said, he was my champion sire group of what I looked at last week when I was out. Very balanced, uniform, consistent group of young cows, beautiful, nice, high, wide rear udders, moderate frames, mobile, good foot and legged cows. And then, now that we see some of his daughter data here, high fat bull, he's always been a high percent, high solids bull for percent fat and protein. That continues now with milking daughters. Good mastitis resistant bull for both Zoetis and CDBC, maintains his high fertility from a sire conception rate standpoint. And then you've got the calf wellness dollars highlighted there. Another bull that's really good on calf livability, calf scour resistance. And then obviously he's been an A2 sire. So a bull that's really checking a lot of different boxes. You see a lot of logos up there, Robot Pro, Mastitis Resistance Pro bull. So a nice graduate. We've got some nice Letchworth sons making positive contributions to our program. And you see some outstanding early daughter photos as well. So when you have a young bull at this age with 72 daughters to already pull off 3 outstanding daughter photos, I think that's another really nice testimonial to the kind of quality that he's siring for us.
Couldn't agree more. He's a heck of a bull.
And another bull that impressed me last week while I was at Oakfield Corners in particular was 250H16074 OCD Parfect Figaro. So one of our first Parfect sons with 105 daughters and 22 herds. This particular bull is out of an 88-point coffee, who is one of my barn favorites, a bull that I just really appreciate for what he does. His dam was always a favorite of mine up at Oakfield Corners, as was the next dam, a 91-point Burley, and then an excellent Delta behind that. So full pedigree now in Figaro with 105 daughters and 22 herds. He's a bull. You see the low somatic cell, the good mastitis resistance, again, great calf wellness, but then that linear profile. Early in terms of daughter classified with 23 daughters, I definitely liked what I saw. The consistency, the udders, the mammary system improvement, moderate size, good width, good strength, substance, with the still solid production behind him. So again, a Figaro, a bull that does have some nice bulls, sons in our program, and starting to backfill that data with really solid daughter data as well.
It's just amazing that we've got these Parfect House Conway sons calving in, and being that this bull's in the generations lineup, I'd be remiss that Renegade's the #1 bull in Canada, Rosline's #2 for the proven bulls, and Parfect is #8. So those bulls as themselves continue to rank at the top of the charts, and now their sons are already coming in. So it's amazing how fast time flies. We've always talked to you guys about next gen, and I'm going to continue to talk about the praises, and several of those bulls we just talked about started their careers in the Next Gen program, and it continues to grow. It continues to gain momentum. We're 6 years ago today that we brought this program into existence, and with Renegade and Game Day and all those bulls I just mentioned, it's a great way to get a jump start genetically in your herds, and we're really excited about what's happening. Before I talk about some bulls, I'm going to cycle back to mastitis resistance again. There's a reason that we talk about it all the time, because we practice what we preach. We go after this target, we try to find it, and when you look at it, you reap what you sow, and we go after it, and you can see that we've got a big advantage in the industry in that regard. The first bull that I get to talk about in Next Gen is 787-17200 Golly, Sheepster son, that I actually still have on my mating sire list, Rick, because I don't think we used them enough, and I want to go back and get some planned matings. These Sheepster sons now are such a great cross to all the Sundance blood that's out there. So he's been a mating sire, and I'm continuing to use him as a mating sire for that reason, because his mother that you see pictured there, Seamers have had 3 global cows of the year. They're convinced that this cow is just as good as those other 3. Highlighted just got classified last week. She went excellent 91 in her second lactation with a 94-point mammary system. So she is not only a great genetic contributor, she's a great cow in her own right. Golly, there's several sons, but he's one of my favorites because he hits so many designations, like you talked on some of those other bulls. Right? He's mastitis resistance pro. He's robot pro. He's got all the right ticks, all those boxes. And in today's world, after the base change, a bull that's 181 pounds of CFP, that's major league opportunity there. His type proof is solid. His mastitis resistance, the calf wellness traits, and his sire conception rate. So he's settling cows extremely well in the program. And then I highlighted on several bulls today because I know folks are not only looking at teat length, they're looking at where the front and rear teats are. And this bull gets them right in the center. And that's something that we continue to hear from folks. And we're really trying to hit that market too, in terms of when we make matings, we're trying to find these bulls that can get the teat in the center. And he's certainly one of the great bulls in the Next Gen program, along with another Sheepster son, 7/8/17/478 Sturgeon. Another Sheepster son we've used as a sire father, another robot pro bull, a bull again at 180 pounds of CFP. You know, that's elite in the population today because of the fact that we've pulled about 64 pounds off. So when you see that 180, that's a big number, along with 69 pounds of protein. He's got the right casings again, the calf wellness weight, checks all of those boxes. What I really like about this bull is that his mother's a young cow that's going to move up and score. The second dam's a very good legacy. And then the cow I've got pictured there, in my mind, is one of the greatest purchases that the SSI ART program has ever got, and that's Alexandra. This cow's in her 5th lactation. She's still alive. She was pictured last summer. She's the mother of Payload. She's the mother of Rupert. So this cow family continues to develop. It continues to make great sons. And so when I look at this bull, I think he's got an awful lot going for him. Another Next Gen bull that has been used very effectively, we liked using this bull as a sire father, 7/8/17/369 Frank the Tank. He's a War Gear son. He'll be getting his data here in August. He's a brother to Khan that we just talked about as a new proven graduate. But this bull, in terms of all those Sheepster daughters that we've been mating through the last several months, this bull has been a magic glove on a lot of those matings on those Sheepster daughters. His mother's a Parsley that's out at a robotic herd in Iowa that Jordan works with. She's good, plus 82. Was just fresh when she got scored earlier this winter. The next dam's a very good Try-Me, and then a Helix. So different bloodlines again, different cow families again. And that's going to be one of the themes we talk about today, is getting bulls that have something just a little bit different. Diversity is still what Select Sires hangs their hat on. We maybe have a lot of Sheepster sons or a lot of Game Day sons, but we try to mix that up in these different maternal lines. And I think it's part of the secret of our success. So in the case of Frank, he's 3,400, ranks him incredibly high in terms of the rankings. He's got solid type, again, mastitis resistance pro. Just in my mind, a really easy bull to use.
Yeah, he was definitely one of our favorite mating sires, and this bull 7H17419 Pencold Cat Eye is another of those favorites. And I like the fact that we're still talking about cow families today. It is a very important part of what we do. And in this Game Day Bailey that you see pictured on the screen is very good 85. Her dam is an excellent 90 legacy best. Bailey herself is up at Cookie Cutter now, making a really nice first lactation. And I think the snapshot on the screen is a really good representation of what Cat Eye's mother looks like. A big, wide, deep, wide-bodied young cow with a great leg, extremely mobile, and making a big record. In Cat Eye himself, you've got one of her highest sheepster sons. A bull that does qualify for all global markets from a health test and marketing standpoint. So as this bull matures, he's going to be introduced around the world. Introduced now in next gen. Big fat bull, one of the highest CFP bulls in the lineup. One of the highest overall index and ranking bulls. He is our number one HHP bull overall currently being offered. He's a top 10 TPI bull at Select Sires and a top 5 Cheese Merit Net Merit bull. So a bull that checks all the boxes from a selection index standpoint, good DPR, good fertility index. Another bull from a linear standpoint, going to moderate the size and the frame, not hurt you anywhere else. Keep those teats centrally placed under the quarters as well. So he is that continuing legacy of sheepster sons, as in particular Sheepster Times Game Day that's been so successful for us. In Cat Eye, a very young bull already introduced here and available through next gen.
And a bull that I still have on my mating sire list as well, because I don't think we used enough of them.
Yep. A bull we definitely used a lot of, and probably the reason that some others got overlooked was 250H17404 Eeyore. So here we've got a sheepster son from a very good Game Day. Next dam was a very good Bigelow from a cow family that's been around from a long time up at Oakfield Corners. Eeyore continues his outstanding rank as a next gen sire. High mastitis resistance, great calf and wellness trait dollars, plus 3.0 on mastitis resistance. He is one of our high HHP bulls. He is A2. You see that linear. I haven't seen a linear like this one in quite some time. You talk about being to the right and right along the center. This bull's just going to inch you along nicely in every single combination from a conformation standpoint. And then probably the new groundbreaking news is that plus 3.2 SCR. The bull was popular before. That generally tends to make you really popular. So nice to see that new addition, new piece of information. Our first Eeyore sons are just hitting the ground, just getting some early genomic tests on those. So we look forward to what his contribution is going to continue to be to our overall program moving forward.
Yeah, I threw in a bunch of those SCR bulls because I know we're moving into summer.
Yep. Another nice bull that's been popular throughout the next gen program is 7H17411 King's Ransom Deny Me, an Easton son from a very good Game Day, from a very good Acura. Here's a bull, goes back to that Dorsey Dexter cow family that has been so prolific up there at King's Ransom. High overall TPI bull, a good DWP and HHP bull, but a fitness trait specialist for sure. High mastitis resistance at plus 3.9 and 101 at Zoetis. Phenomenal calf livability at plus 107. Great calf scour resistance at plus 105. So these are going to be those really healthy, aggressive young calves once they hit those hutches. And they're going to grow into very profitable cows at the end of the day. So he is another bull that we use quite extensively. We've always loved Easton and his sons and that balance that he provides. And this is certainly one of the great Easton sons we have in our program today.
Well, the next bull, as you said last night, we get the ranking list, and you almost are surprised that, wow, this bull did even better than we thought. 7H 17695 Papaya Red, a bull we've used it very heavily over the last several months as a mating sire. And for our red program, and you're going to hear a lot of great news about red and whites as we get deeper in the presentation today. But we're blessed to have Papaya is the #1 red GTPI young calf in the breed at 3285. He's, if you want to round up, he's 2 points on type, he's 2 points on udders, or 1.99 on both, to be exact. But when you put a combination of TPI, CFP, great production, great type, calf wellness traits, it's something just a little bit different in terms of how he's bred. His dam is a game day that's pictured there. This is a really, really prolific cow at Seamers'. It's a different fork of the P family at Seamers'. Doesn't go through Lamb de Paris, goes through some other great cows. There's a Builder Mark and that brought the red factor gene into this, and then back to Granite Perini, and then back to the great Denver, that's the anchor of this cow family, Denver Paris. So a bull we're going to use extremely heavily. I'll tell you about his brother a little bit later when we talk about red and whites. But in terms of next gen, this is a major league bull that's going to do a lot of things right. Two brothers I want to talk about, and we're going to cycle into G4 Sires here as we go through this. 7H 17568 JC Cow Whippet's a recent addition to next gen. A bull that I've had the opportunity to work with this cow family for quite a while. New entrant into the sire development business, and he got there using next gen. Jared Cowelters, the breeder of PBJ, #1 game day son, came from a next gen mating. That he made that mating, purchased the bull, but we've worked together very, very well for a long period of time. Whippet's a sheepster son from a different cow family. Dam's an upside. She's due later this year. She's still a virgin heifer, or a pregnant heifer. The next dam was a riveting that was a whale of a cow. Unfortunately, lost right before they went back to classification because they'd been pretty commercial over the years, but was a heck of a cow. The next dam's a Rubicon. And this is a herd that almost 30 years ago, I was mating cows at Jared's dad's stall barn herd years ago. And as I looked at that pedigree, remembered some of those cows in there. But sheeps are upside and riveting, a little different on the bottom side there with upside and riveting. High CFP bull, again, great on productive life. Again, those teat placements right where you want them. And so quite an exciting bull we've used as well as the sire father. But as we move into G-Force and new G-Force, I want to introduce his brother, who's in G-Force, readily available, but he's a little different in that he's a sex-only bull at the moment in high purity. So 585 is our high purity line. 17690 Sticks is his name. He's a Sundance brother to the bull that I just showed you, Whippet. Again, similar credentials. He's got those great fitness traits, high productive life, hits all those designations. Again, fits the mastitis resistance, feed pro. And then you look at the teat placement again that I've talked about that I wanted to highlight. We get them right to the center because that's what we keep hearing from folks, that they want that teat not only to be a little bit longer, they want it to be in the right spot. And I think this bull is going to do that really, really well. I think Otis is your bull or my bull, Rick?
No, he's mine here. Just daydreaming a little bit about these early Sundances coming into our G-Force lineup. What a nice variety that's going to offer us. He is a bull that we used extremely heavily as a mating sire, and now reaping the benefits of having done so. 14H 17657 Attaway Sundance Otis. Sundance out of the Hake daughter from the 82-point game day. So that pedigree is going to cross over and complement so much of what we have out in our herds today with a non-renegade, non-sheepster pedigree. He's a bull, as I talked to our friends at the East Coast and Premier Select Sires this morning, I think could be just a little bit of a sleeper. And I say that only because of one trait, and that's those caseins at A1. I know a lot of people around the world are going to just cross them off the list. And those of you that don't will be the beneficiaries of everything else that this bull offers. Because when you look at productive life, fertility index, DPR, CCR, calf wellness, livability, +1 on type, +1 on udders, high solids, 132 CFP. And by the way, 132 CFP is the old 200. So that is a pretty darn elite CFP level to go along with everything else this bull has to offer. He is a bull we have used as a mating sire. We've got pregnancies on the way. That's what we thought of this bull, think of this bull. And the fact that he goes right straight to G-Force and available around the world, I think is a great new addition to what we have available in that program.
I'm going to add one more thing on this, Rick, and that's that Hayek daughter there that's really promising, already pictured, going to get scored, I'm sure, at Attaway later this year. The other side of Hayek is he would be a top 20 TPI bull. He has progeny. He had a pretty nice day, but the challenge is he doesn't want to cooperate in the semen production realm right now. So we've sold one boatload of Hayek semen over his career. but unfortunately, we're working on trying to get him back to production again. So a bull that he's got a progeny proven dam on the bottom side. One more thing before you talk about the next bull, Rick. Brian, I see your question. We're going to get to that question once we finish up these G-Force items.
Yeah, so the other bull that goes right into G-Force, another bull we've used as a contract mating sire, 7H17686 Plain Knoll S Commander. Plain Knoll is certainly one of our favorites. So when you get a chance to get into that herd and see the quality and the genetic contributions, keep in mind this is the same cow family that produced Trooper, the same cow family that produced Crusher, two bulls that are right at the top of the proven sire list and what they have done. So deep cow family. Commander is out of an Elon. Elon is one of my customer satisfaction bulls, my barn favorites. I love what Elon himself has sired and what I see in his daughters. Next dam was a very good Acura. And then behind that is the cow on the screen, this 91 point Resolve that just was an incredible cow walking the freestalls there at Plain Knoll. Commander himself is going to be right at the top end of our net merit. One of our highest net merit bulls, a tremendous HHP bull. He's an A2A2 sire. Again, down the middle of the chart from a linear standpoint. But again, even with a rollback, 182 CFP, 1,800 pounds of milk, and 72 pounds of protein. In case you haven't adjusted to everything, those numbers are high. And this bull is right at the top end of the chart. So an exciting new G-Force, another Sheepster son, but a little different maternal side with that Elon, Acura, and then 91 point Resolve. Touched on the Aurora Ridge herd already and its popularity for us. And Poplar, the 250H17387, is from a different cow family that's doing really well up there at Aurora Ridge as well. Here's a bull, high solids bull, high percent fat, high percent protein, certainly a wellness trait specialist. 222 wellness trait dollars, 107 mastitis resistance. The CDBC, you see all those yellow highlights on the screen there. This cow family is representing fitness traits to the extreme. Big DPR bull, plus 2.1 and good cow conception rate as well. And then still a point on type, let's call them a point on udder composite with a very, very easy to use user-friendly linear profile, whether it be for frame traits, feet and leg traits, or overall udder improvement. So Poplar has been a popular bull and will continue to be so with what he is offering to us in from a fitness health A2A2 in linear profile.
So before we talk about a few bulls that I thought were under the radar screen or maybe deserve another look in the G-Force lineup, Brian, good day from Australia. Always enjoy your questions. And I saw that you asked the question about the movement upward in TPI. So just want to explain that. Rick talked a little bit about it early in the presentation of the inbreeding adjustments that were placed after the base change and that maybe didn't have the decrease maybe as extreme as what was predicted in some of the early materials. And in the TPI formula, there's what you call a constant. There's a number that they do to set the bar and hopefully keep things on an even keel. That was probably overestimated because those inbreed adjustments didn't get factored in quite as extreme as they were. So that's why you'll see somewhere between a 70 to 80 point TPI increase in the information. And that's why, as we talked about earlier, trying to get our head around this over the week as we're looking at the data and those kind of things. And that's when it all gets down to it. It's about the relative rank, where do they fit in the population, and what are the total amount of traits that they have. And it's kind of like the resetting of the clocks. And I think once we get used to what is the right threshold for you, that's the reason for it. So I just wanted to mention that in a good question. And I guess we probably should have touched on that at the beginning, but hopefully that answers what you're looking for. So it has to do with the constant at Holstein USA. But there's some bulls that, as I looked at this and you sort through the data and how things will look different, or maybe these are some bulls that deserved a second look. And so there was a few bulls I picked out. The first one is 7H17514 Blumenfeld Lighthouse. You just talked about that great Resolve at Plain Knoll. that's excellent 91. This is the same cow family as Reason and Resolve up at Blumenfeld in Minnesota, one of my favorite herds to work with. Not a surprise that this bull's a robot pro bull. They milk in 8 robots, and every decision they make genetically is about making a cow that's robot friendly. But Lightner's one of those Lighthouse is one of those Sheepster sons. It's got a little different pedigree again, an 83-point Lightner daughter. I saw her when I was up there in January, off to a good start. The next name's an 84-point Acura, and then it traces back into the same maternal line as Reason and Resolve. He's got huge components, as you said before, Rick. 161 on CFP is a pretty high number. He also excels in livability traits, calf wellness traits, hits it right down the center. But he was a bull that, of these Sheepster sons, there's a lot of them, but sometimes it's finding that one that's very unique. And I thought with that combination of livability, CFP, and calf wellness, he's a bull that deserves a second look. A couple other bulls from a production perspective. I know everybody likes to have a certain threshold of pounds of milk or pounds of protein. And because numbers were getting so big and everybody was like, well, maybe these bulls stick out a little different. And there's 2 here from the Have It All Syndicate, that 2 bulls I've always liked them extremely well. The first one is 7H 17424 Lionel Hayes. He's a Lionel son out of the Perfect Hardy cow, who's now excellent 90, and then Doc, the $1.925 million cow. A bull, when you look at the combination of milk type casings at 1,500, 50 protein, 0.5 on type, a good linear profile, big rear udders, which I'm pretty sure they're going to have because this Perfect times Dot Cross was magical. You'll hear me talk about it more as we go through the presentation, and then Has It All being the full brother. It was a magical flush. And so he's one that I thought warrants another look, as well as another bull. I'm saying this differently, not hazed. This is Hayes, like Willie Mays Hayes. And he is an Esquire son, 7H 17163. Again, 1,800 pounds of milk, 55 of protein, 172 on type, longer teats, and A2, and more importantly, +3 on sire conception rate as we move into the summer. Perfect Haley also just went excellent this winter. And so this magical cross, like I say, has been really, really good, but that high elite fertility. The other thing that I'm really excited about in this bull is he's an Esquire son. And Esquire, he would be my grand champion of all the new daughters that I've seen calved in the last several months. Their udders are outstanding. And I'm probably a homer because I've always loved the Escanaba cow from the Sandy Valley breeding program, and Esquire is one of her first sons. But look for him in August to maybe make a big splash, because he's maybe one of the most exciting daughter herds I've seen.
Yeah, definitely another sleeper bull, 14H 17260 Hoedown from Cookie Cutter, the Van Gogh son out of the 83-point Game Day. He's a bull we had on our mating sire list. Quite honestly, didn't probably get a lot of use on him. He came through next gen into the G-Force program and just has been under the radar. But I think when you see this new information and how it's recalibrated itself, a bull is definitely worth a second look. Big milk bull at 1,500 pounds of milk. That is in the top 10 at select sires. Low somatic cell, good mastitis resistance once again. And again, those calf wellness traits right where you'd like to see him. He's an A2 sire, moderate frame, and then certainly really nice rear udder improvement expected with good solid fore udders, and then those centrally placed teats. So a little different bull with new information that certainly deserves a second look. Another bull that deserves a second look is 14H 17392 Kenyon Hill Sheepston Paxton. Kevin, you alluded to some success from Next Gen with the JC Cow prefix, and what Jared and his family have done and accomplished by utilizing Next Gen. And the Kenyon Hill bulls are the same thing. They utilize Game Day as a Next Gen sire on an excellent pursuit, had tremendous success in Game Day play as an 86-point Game Day that has provided us with this Paxton bull. So 1,000-pound milk bull, 148 CFP, 0.3 on type, 1.2 on udders, flawless linear profile, 107 calf livability, A1, A2, a really, really solid all-around bull that I just think is an easy-to-use bull. Very, very few flaws, if any, in this bull. Amongst all of the Sheepster sons, and you do have to sort through them because there are a lot of them. This bull kind of finds his way to the top end of a lot of charts because he just simply doesn't have any holes in him.
Balance is the key.
An exciting new bull into G-Force, fresh out of next gen, is 250H17009 Howlin' P. The Chew P son out of the 81 point ahead. Then that Rapid that I mentioned, the cow family that's so deep there at Aurora Ridge, doing some great things. Howlin' P has been a very, very popular and prominent mating sire for us. A bull that has done well in next gen, but now ready for global use in the G-Force program. High percent fat bull, high percent protein bull, high pounds of fat and protein as well. He's an A2 bull. He's 101 on mastitis resistance with plus 1.2 on the CDBC traits. And oh yeah, he is polled. This is a bull that's going to have a massive impact on the polled world, but he is also going to have a massive impact on the entire Holstein population as well. We've got a lot of polled sons and non-polled sons in our program. We already have 5 sons of Howlin' P over 3,400 TPI, up to the highest at 3,446. That bull happens to be polled. 3 of those 5 over 3,400 are polled. So we are going to have massive impact from Howlin' P. Very excited about that. Very excited that he is now part of the G-Force program for everyone to take advantage of his quality genetics. And then if you believe in cow families, in the strength of the cow family behind this bull, he's got to be a must-use bull for you.
Couldn't agree more. The polled breed is going to be different because of this bull.
Yep. Another bull that's going to move the needle from a polled perspective is 14H17204 Twisted P. Badger Seamer's Twisted P, a polled sheepster son from a bedrock daughter. A little different being a sheepster and polled. 3,300 TPI, high percent fat and protein. You see those highlights on the linear profile. Central teat placement, moderate to no change on teat length. You see the mastitis resistance once again that we continue to preach. He's an A2 bull. Twisted P has been a mating sire for us, so we will have sons hopefully down the road when those calves hit the ground. But I think a really, really powerful 1-2 punch in new additions in the polled program to add to our G-Force lineup.
And another bull that I thought was under the radar screen, and there's a couple of reasons for that. 7H17095 Terra Calroy Jackhammer. Another Letchworth son. We did, new graduates. So you got a proven sire from a proven sire from an excellent Zazzle mother that you can see there, and then a Tahiti behind that. It's a neat cow family. But here's a bull that's always done well. We use him as a sire father. He's 3306. Plus over 50 pounds of protein and double digit plus in components. So kind of hits those metrics. He's good that way. This bull is a bull that can make the high ones. And he's made some really kind of interesting high unique calves for us. There's been some females come into the population. So if you were looking for a bull with a little different pedigree that might have the opportunity to be used in some different situations of game day bloodlines, and I just thought in terms of the diversity bull that still ranks high, that does some things right, I think Jackhammer was a bull that we probably should talk about. I see a question here from Pakistan about Commander. Being that it was just released, I'm sure at some point in time he'll be available in Pakistan. I would tell you to talk to your Worldwide Sires rep about that to make sure what the timeline may be with him just being a release this month. Just a matter of, is he in the right barn to get him to the right countries? But he should be there at some point. How soon, I can't say. Well, let's talk about some of the fun bulls. Obviously, Showcase is something near and dear to my heart, and it's always been a lot of fun it's been 10 years now of the opportunity to work with this program. Continues to sell the record numbers of units. I just want to put a little plug in. Doc has produced his millionth unit. Now it's just a matter of selling those last few units to put him over the million unit threshold, and he'll be the first Showcase bull that we've had that hits a million units. But just a few that I wanted to talk about, and again, because of going into summer, the first bull I wanted to talk about was 7H16954 Diesel. He's another son of Doc, and so maybe I'm sounding repetitive, but A beautiful linear bull that again has those teats in the right spot for high type bulls of teat length, teat placement, good production at 1294, still over 2 points on type after the base change. The reason I have this bull into as a plug, he is the #1 sire conception rate bull at Select Sires and one of the highest in the breed at plus 4.6 on sire conception rate. So as we move into summer and you're looking for a bull to get cows pregnant and still not sacrifice one darn thing when it comes to production, type, and everything else you're looking for, this is a bull that you might want to have in the tank to get those hard breeders or during the hot summer weather. Same thing can be said for 258, 17, 297, Fantastic P, another elite sex fertility bull. He's 3.5 in his SCR. He's got the right casings. He's a Chew P son out of the excellent, now perfect, out of Luster 33-317. And obviously the huge influence on our program from that global cow of the year at the moment, but 88 of CFP, positive of fertility values, and that extremely high type at 2.74. So I'm plugging him because of that, these two, because of their high sire fertility, but exactly what we want to make in the showcase program with those kind of linears. Maybe the most exciting bull we've released in showcase in a couple of years is 7/8, 17, 700. I alluded to him back in December. Have it all Blakely Hinge. This Blakely son, who in my mind is one of the best game day sons. He certainly is best son for type. He reminds me of Doc in a lot of respects as a young bull. Out of what I think, even though she's not scored the highest, she's my favorite perfect out of Doc. That's Holly. She's still up at Duck and Holstein's. Going to be an excellent cow. Just fresh the second time now. Went from 86 to 88. She'll be an excellent cow. Kind of puts everything together we've ever tried to accomplish in this program, where he's got production, he's got type, he's got balance, he's got casings, he's got fertility. And from this cow family, I just think that this is a really unique bull and a bull that's going to be, he's one of the most highly sought after bulls. I guess he's the bull I tell you, be patient, just place your orders, and I know the team will get it to you. But really, really exciting in that regard. Same thing holds true for the first Hulu Sun release, 258, 17, 567, Paulin. He is red factored. He is a high end, he's one of our highest fertility index bulls in the entire lineup, whether it's Showcase, G-Force, Next Gen at +2 on fertility index, mastitis resistance pro bull, 3 points on type. I think he's our #2 or 3 overall type bull in the lineup at 3.12. And A2 BB at Kappa casing. The bull we've used as a sire father. I really like this bull from the respect that he combines the two great families, the two global cows of the year into one package. You've got 33-317, the Luster on the top side. You've got Lambda Paris on the bottom side. This cow continues to keep cranking them out. She's got some polled sons that just got results a few weeks ago. So the influence of Lambda Paris is going to go on for quite a while. It started with Perfect, and I'm not sure when it's going to end. Last showcase bull I wanted to touch on is something a little different. I hear all the time about what do you have that doesn't have the H in the bottom side, and Kickstart is that 258, 17, 435. A bull that has huge components. He's got balance. He's got the right casings. He's got those teat placements again. Now, this is a little interesting that he's double Lambda Paris. He's a Pazel from a Perfect, but most importantly, there's a stall barn shot of that cow just a few weeks ago. She went 88 points as a first calf 2-year-old, and then it goes back to a very good positive, and then a very good Charl, and actually goes back to Seagull Bay, Miss America. If you go back far enough in the pedigree, it's a really neat and unique pedigree bull that's got the right casings. It's been very popular already, but a bull that I think has an opportunity to get used on Doc blood, and we obviously have a lot of that, a lot of H bulls in the lineup. This bull will work extremely well. So I'm just checking to see on the comment side of it before we finish up here in the red highlights. I couldn't think of a better cow to epitomize the red program than this cow here, Red Zone. You're going to hear a lot about her as we go through a few of these bulls, but a simplicity daughter that's excellent 91, anchors a lot of the red families we have today. And but it was a pretty big day in red and whites. I have to say that I'm pretty proud of the fact of where we were. We talked about Papaya being the #1 bull in the breed for genomic young bulls, but we also have the #1 proven bull, Rick, and I'm going to let you talk about him.
Yeah, thanks. It is an exciting day, and it's been a long week, some long hours, late nights. And if you're a little bit like me and you start looking through this and you kind of have a little attention deficit issue, and after about 2 or 3 bulls, you want to stop looking. The good thing about the red program is you start with the number 1 bull in Rebel Red. You found him. The bull we'll talk about next is Resonate Red, number 3. What else do you need? Number 1 and number 3 proven red bulls in the breed at Select Sires, the number 1 genomic red bull. You don't have to spend a lot of time sorting deep through lists to find tremendous quality. But Rebel Red as a bull that we used quite heavily as a mating sire. You see a beautiful picture of the bull himself there on the screen. Some really nice early daughter photos. He's a bull now with 142 daughters and 43 herds. 1.8 on type, 1.5 on udder, beautiful linear profile, good mastitis resistance once again, high % fat and protein. He's A2, he's BB. In, as I said, number 1 proven red bull in the breed. And we had to fact check ourselves again this morning. These you go through so many different bulls, but a non-Salvatore pedigree as well, which is so huge with all the influence of Salvatore blood in the red program. In the red breed. To have the number 1 bull of the breed without that blood, I think is just partly the reason this bull has been so popular in our sales program. And I think a reason that the bull is going to continue to be extremely popular for us in the red and white program. And then nipping on his heels is 7H15636 Bacon Hill Resonate Red, the Watson son. From the excellent Salvatore, then an 87-point all-day daughter. He is the number 3 proven bull, as I said. Another bull, it's a nice % fat and protein bull. Another bull over a point on udder composite. As we've echoed all day long, teats in the right place, in the right size. Another big SCR bull at plus 2.2 on SCR. And then that mastitis resistance is right where you'd like to see it. And a bull that does a really good job with lameness as well at plus 105. So 2 exciting bulls in our red program right at the top of the breed. Extremely proud to have both of these still part of the program, still alive and available and ready to go to work for you.
And Bowling P Red is also on the top 10. So we rounded out 3 of the top 10. So it was a really good day when it comes to red and whites. As I said, with Papaya being the number 1 ranking bull, right near the top of the charts in terms of the number 1 in sales in 2024 with 7H17155 Trent Way exclusive. I've had the opportunity to work with Trent and Kelsey for a really, really long time, going all the way back to a Uno daughter that they had, and started this whole cow family and different forks of it that they've invested into, and actually exclusive here goes to a different fork of the Roxy's, but they have put themselves on the map as one of the premier herds in the business in terms of creating great red and white genetics that have balance. And that's how their herd is made. They're great cow people. They're the hardest working couple I know in show business. Just built a new barn. And exclusive is a little different, being a network red son who's proven as well. And then Essay. And Trent used a lot of Parfect on these red bloodlines, and it was to really, really good use because it added the right casings. It added a little width and power to these cow families, and just a whole lot of oomph, and it's just been really exciting. So in the case of exclusive, we've got a whole bunch of red exclusive sons that will be getting picked up here in the next couple bull pickups because we use him as a sire father. He's got that great fertility index, that balanced linear, the right teat placement, but probably most importantly, he settles cows at 3.3 on SCR, and his mother is a great, great cow. It was just down there this winter. SA's 88 is a second calver, going to have a huge genetic influence down the road. So in terms of one Parfect that made a high son, that's exclusive. But she's not the only Parfect there. From different families, that red cow I showed you at the beginning, Red Zone, did herd a Parfect, made several daughters, and they've all had a huge influence. 14H 17 550 Ragnar Red is again in top 15 bulls of the breed, right there with Papaya, 3091 on GTPI. He's a Fireball red son, so it's kind of cool because Fireball's a romping son on the top side, and then a different fork of this family on the bottom side through Red Zone, and that 86-point Parfect that's going to get scored here later this month. But again, great fertility values, A2, BB, a bull that we've used as a sire father. as along with her two brothers that were Hard Rock and Rufus, the Hyatt brothers and Letchworth brothers that we've been using in the program as hybrid factored bulls of the breed. So this family just doesn't miss. And then this one, this Parfait blew the internet up about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when they went and pictured there. I wish I could have been there that day, but I've seen the cow. I know how good she is. Reassure, one of Parfait's finest daughters. She will be an extremely high scoring cow when she gets looked at again, and has been just a marvelous cow. And her sons as well. She's the same mating as Ragnar, just a different bottom side cow, but the same family. Reassure, 2980, but has really good fitness traits, a 1.5 on udder composite, huge mastitis values. Again, he's a mastitis resistance pro bull with the right casings. So just an amazing trio of bulls, all from Parfait daughters, and just an exciting part of our bred program. I talked about Papaya's brother. This is Parby. This is the full brother to the #1 bull of the breed. He ranks about number 12, 14H17,555. Readily available, not in next gen. Used him as a sire father as well. He's at 3144, 1200 of milk. A little better on the fertility values, not quite as high in type as Papaya, but a really great bull, again, out of that very good game day. And then the last one that I think is a red bull that's a sleeper, 7H17,565, Seamer's Harrow. This is a red factored red lease son that's out of one of my favorite cows there at Seamer's. She's the rapid sister to 33,317. And I just find it ironic that you've got the global cow of the year and then an excellent daughter that was born 4 calves before that's having an impact as well. But when you look at a bull that just is all balanced, I think with that 1,000 pounds of milk and the solid type and the solid udder composite and the fertility index and the right casings, this is a bull that I'm glad I used as a sire father, but quite frankly, wish I'd used a little bit more. But that's what we had. There are a couple of questions. And Rick, I'm going to give you the first one because I think that's about Trooper Shake It. So I'll let you tell that story.
Sure what that question is, Kevin, but I was looking at Richard's question about the slick bulls, and I pulled that up on my screen. Yes, we do have several slick bulls. In fact, 6 slick bulls currently being marketed. If you go to our website in the filters, look at high interest along with the polled and the red, there's an option there to check on slick, and you'll find 6 bulls currently being marketed. Up to well over 3,000 TPI, 640, 650 net merit dollars in the fire slick, this just in slick, ice cube slick. So I think Mark Current in particular with our art program is really working hard to develop this slick program and increase the genetic offering of our slick bulls. It's kind of a pet project of his. He's taken a lot of pride in developing this and improving it. And I'd say we are just getting started. He is just getting started with some really, really exciting things coming down the road in terms of incorporating that slick gene into our population. So yes, we do. They're on our website. Just click on the filters, special interest, and you should find them.
Super. Yeah, I was thinking what that question was is Trooper Shaken, who is Sheepster's brother. And yeah, there was 2 brothers, but the one of them didn't cooperate with seeming quite the same as Sheepster has. So like I say, I'm looking. I mean, if he's got any other questions, I guess I'd say speak now or forever hold your peace, or shoot us a message later. But we're right tight. We're under an hour, Rick. That's what we always try to shoot for. And certainly appreciate all your time and attention. We always enjoy doing this to give you some information, and thanks again for all the support you give us here at Select Sires, and just want to say thanks and hope you have a great rest of your day, great spring, great summer, happy breeding.
See you in August.